wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Wendat Nation, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. We're also grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate the achievements of our scholars who graduate today. On their behalf, let us express gratitude for the support of their families and friends, and for the faculty and staff who have guided them in their pursuit of knowledge. Whatever our own traditions, let us reflect as we proceed through the convocation ceremony on the many years of effort, sacrifice, and success that have led us to this time of celebration. One of my most important roles as Chancellor is to serve as chair of convocation ceremonies, conferring degrees upon our graduates and celebrating their entry into the University of Toronto's distinguished alumni community, and I'm deeply honored to do so today. In concilium universitatis torontonensis vocatis sumus. Graduates, please remain standing. All guests, please be seated.
Insignissime cancelaria, presento tibi hosce scholaris, ud admentator ad gradus varios, testorque eos quad omnia quae, statuta requirent aptos, et idonius esse.
Ad perfectum hues provinciae, huesque magnae patriae, et ad perfectum omnium notionum omnibus interis canentatum ego, ex autoritate mihi, et tote universitate commissa, admitto fas ad gratus varios, quorum ora vobis do, et peto quoque at omnia conficiatis munera quae ad illos gratus pertinent.
Please be seated. My name is Melanie Wooden, and it's my great privilege to serve as the 17th President of the University of Toronto. Today, I have the additional privilege of assisting our Chancellor, Wes Hall, in conducting this convocation. The university is an institution with deep historical roots and many enduring traditions. Among those is our use of the language of the medieval university in conducting today's wonderful celebration. For those of you in attendance who, like me, may be less than fluent in Latin, a translation may be helpful. For my part, I said, most distinguished Chancellor, I present to you these scholars, that they may be admitted to the various degrees, and I bear witness that, as far as all things which the statutes require, they are fit and suitable. Much more significantly from the standpoint of the graduating class, the Chancellor then replied, to the benefit of this province, this great country, and to the worldwide community of nations, I, by the authority vested in me and in the whole university, admit you to your various degrees, grant to you the rights, and ask of you the responsibilities of doing all those things which pertain to those degrees. And so, as my first order of business, I am delighted to salute you, the graduating classes of 2026 from Woodsworth College and the Faculty of Arts and Science. That's it. You're done. Warmest congratulations. I would also like to bid a warm welcome to everyone who has joined us here this evening in historic Convocation Hall. Graduates, today the University of Toronto is formally recognizing your hard work, your perseverance, your accomplishments, and this milestone. Each of you, as a member of the graduating class, is joining an exceptional family of University of Toronto alumni. U of T has a global community of more than 720,000 alumni in 200 countries. They are the university's living legacy and our greatest ambassadors. U of T alumni serve in leadership roles in every corner of the globe and in every walk of life. They are prime ministers, justices, scholars, authors, community and business leaders, scientists, and professionals of every description. Their endeavors have shaped the world we live in and the way in which we understand that world. We have no doubt that the University of Toronto's high international standing can be attributed to generations of dedicated and very talented faculty and staff, but we also understand that this reputation has been built by our alumni, a group that now includes each and every one of you. So, to the graduating class, let me say thank you. Thank you for your many contributions to the university while you were a student, and thank you for what you will do as members of Canada's largest, and I believe most distinguished alumni community. One more word of thanks is in order. I'm sure all graduates share a sense of gratitude to the friends and family members who have helped bring them to this special day. And I would ask you to join me and the platform party in thanking them with a vigorous round of applause. Let me continue with a request. One of the distinguishing features of our convocation is that graduates come forward right here to be individually recognized. You will then leave the stage following the red carpet along the ramp, exit out the door, and turn left. And you will quietly enter the hall as your peers continue to be recognized. In that spirit, I encourage you to think of the very last person who will be on this stage. And I believe it will be Amaya Chandra. Can you stand up, Amaya? So everyone, remember Amaya and return to your seat. It is now my privilege to introduce today's convocation speaker, Kamari Clark. Professor Clark is a distinguished professor of transnational justice and socio-legal studies, internationally recognized for her influential scholarship at the intersections of law, globalization, and justice. Her work spans more than 2 decades and explores reparatory justice and the cultural and political dimensions of law. She has earned numerous prestigious honors, including a Guggenheim Fellowship and election to the Royal Society of Canada. Please welcome Kamari Clark to the podium.
Thank you. Mr. Chancellor, President Wooden, faculty, staff, families, honored guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. It is a profound honor to stand before you today. Convocation is one of those rare ceremonies that looks both forward and backward at the same time. It asks us to pause and honor what has been accomplished. It asks us to reflect on the late nights, the deadlines, the sacrifices, and the supporting role of friends and family, the mentors and the teachers who helped to make this day possible. But Convocation also asks us to look ahead. It prompts us to ask, what now? What kind of world are you entering as graduates? What kind of future will you help to create? And perhaps most importantly, who will you choose to become in that future? Today, you graduate into a world that is being rapidly transformed before our eyes. One area of transformation is that of artificial intelligence. Computers and AI are no longer distant possibilities. They're increasingly tools of the present. They write, translate, summarize, classify, they diagnose, and generate information. They move through our institutions, our justice systems, and our most intimate forms of communication. In fact, just today, as I was coming downtown for this event, the City of Toronto announced that it's rolling out a new AI chat box pilot to sort through municipal bylaws as well as to direct inquiries. So it is truly all around us. We are told, often with great urgency, that AI will change everything, and in many ways, it will. But as we celebrate your graduation today, I want to leave you with some reflections that speak to some of the most urgent questions of our time. What will humans bring to the future that AI cannot? What capacities must we protect and deepen? And what forms of judgment and care and courage will become even more important in a world of accelerated computation? Graduates, your success in the future will not depend on whether you know how to bring to AI the human capacities that give technology direction, purpose, and ethical meaning. Success in so many ways will be related to our ability to bring the following 5 human capacities to AI in order to preserve what there is of humanity in our world. The first is that of questioning. One of the oldest lessons of education remains one of the most important. Progress begins not with certainty, but in fact with inquiry. AI can certainly generate answers. Often it can generate them quickly, fluently, and even convincingly. But a good answer is only useful if it's responding to the right question. It may help us move faster, but human questioning can help us ask whether we're moving in the right direction. And of course, in doing that, are we interrogating the right questions? What assumptions are being made, for example, or what alternatives have yet to be imagined? As a professor who has conducted socio-legal research in war-torn regions in the world for over 25 years, I've learned that our human advantage has to do with asking the right questions in relevant contexts. It involves asking things like, well, what does this mean? What is at stake? How might I approach something differently? What are we really trying to solve? The questions matter because the wrong question can make a narrow solution look like progress, when in fact, it might only be addressing superficial matters. So graduates, don't lose your capacity to question. Don't let the speed of an answer prevent you from asking whether the question itself was worthy. The second point is refinement through iteration and through practice. And this second capacity, of course, is another that is key. We sometimes imagine genius as a flash of insight. And sometimes, in fact, it is. But more often than not, meaningful work is made through revision, through the doing again and a doing again, through the trying and trying again. It is through returning to the question with greater humility. It's through listening to feedback. It's through noticing, in fact, what did not work. And it's through improving what did work. But iteration goes beyond repetition. It is learning, it is judgment, it's taste. It is a relationship between imagination and correlation and correction. It allows us to move from generic to specific as well as from the possible to the meaningful. Many of you have learned this through your studies. You submitted work, you received comments, you revised and revised again. You defended an idea. You let it be challenged. You began again. These processes actually represent the core of what learning is. And we know that AI can generate options, but it doesn't necessarily experience the discipline of practice. It doesn't know the frustration of a draft that fails, or the satisfaction of finally finding the right sentence, or the right answer, the right method, or the right design, the right argument. In the future, AI may give you the first version of things, but please don't confuse the first version with the final one. The human task to refine, to ask, and ask again and again is key. The third capacity is that of composition. AI can organize, it can categorize, it can summarize, but composition requires more than organization. Composition is the art of bringing things together. It's the assembly of ideas, of values, of visions into something coherent and meaningful. It requires synthesis. And in many traditions of knowledge, wisdom isn't found in isolated facts. It's found in relations, in how things are actually held together. It connects the individual and the collective and requires the ability to see relationships among things that do not obviously belong together. It requires knowing when to pause, where to move, where to make a space in relation to the things that matter. Graduates, the world you inherit is fragmented in many ways. It's fragmented by inequality, by polarization, by the speed of information itself. One of your tasks will be that of composition, to bring together what has been separated, to build bridges across disciplines, communities, and forms of knowledge, to create structures that help people see the whole. Hold on to your ability to engage in composition that build institutions and that allow you to imagine new futures. The fourth capacity is context-related allocation of resources. And in a knowledge economy, intelligence isn't just about what we know. It's about how we apply what we know through allocation, through coordination, and of course through the use of resources. And we know that AI systems will be part of how work is certainly allocated and currently and certainly in the future. They will shape timeless constraints, recommendations, and decisions. They'll coordinate human and machine labor. They may help us use resources more efficiently, in fact. But they may also reproduce inequality if we don't ask who benefits, who is burdened, and even who is left out. Allocation is therefore a moral and a political skill. The future will require people who can coordinate humans and machines, yes. But more than that, it will require people who can allocate resources with fairness and imagination, as well as with accountability. The final is that of, and what I in many ways see as amongst the most important, is that of integrity and ethics. And this is what I'd like to leave you with today. We often speak of AI as though its dangers lie only in the future. Someday, perhaps, machines will become too powerful, but many of the ethical questions are already here. They are present when algorithms sort people into categories. They're present when automated systems affect access to employment or to housing or to credit, to immigration, to policing and punishment. And they are present when systems trained on unequal histories reproduce unequal outcomes. Integrity, then, is the capacity to remain answerable to truth when truth is sometimes inconvenient. It asks us to tell the truth where the world rewards performance. Ethics is the practice of asking not only can we, but should we? And if we should, how? For whom? Under what conditions? At what expense? With what consequences? Indeed, AI may have remarkable capacities, and it may help us to analyze data, detect patterns, draft documents, and model scenarios to solve problems, and some of them are very useful, in fact. A machine can tell us what is likely. It can tell us what is popular. It can tell us what resembles something that has been said before, as well as what we may want to hear. And that will matter enormously in your lives, because AI will often be agreeable. It may confirm your assumptions, and it may produce a polished version of what you already know or believe. It may provide language that makes harmful choices sound, in fact, reasonable. But it cannot, on its own, tell us what we must have the courage to do. When relevant, we must be able to push back to say, no, that's not the whole story, or this answer is incomplete. Integrity is about refusing to hide behind procedures or technologies when human judgment is required. It's about being willing to be accountable. But graduates, accountable cannot be fully automated. We cannot delegate moral courage to machines, and we cannot ask an algorithm to carry the burden of our humanity. But let me also make myself clear. I'm not suggesting that we reject AI or romanticize a past before technology. Not at all. The problem is not technology alone, and this is the message that I leave you with. We know that humans have created unjust systems long before AI. The problem is truly about power without accountability, and that is why our integrity and ethical conscience matters. Graduates, in the world ahead, you will work in institutions that are imperfect. You will be asked to make decisions in conditions of uncertainty. You will face pressures to move quickly, to conform, to compete, to produce, to protect your own advancement. And in those moments, ethical life will require that we consider what others may not need exactly what we need. So we may consider that others may not need exactly what we need. They may come from different histories, different forms of harm, different relationships to institutions. In those contexts, ethics may require both universality and specificity. They may require principles as well as the application of context-specific decision-making. They may require rules as well as humility. There may be times when the ethical path will be profound and exciting. At times, it may just be plain hard. It may involve refusing to submit work that is not your own, or acknowledging uncertainty, or just saying, I don't know. These ordinary practices of integrity matter. They shape character and habits, which shape institutions over time. So to conclude then, graduates, our future unravels before us, and as that happens, the most important questions about AI are before us. Whether we'll become more humane, more careful, more just, and attentive to one another, or will we allow powerful tools make us less responsible for consequences of our choices? The future will need people who can work with machines, but even more urgently, it will need people like you who know what machines are for, and people who can bring conscience to innovation and courage to complexity. So today, you leave this institution with knowledge, skills, credentials, and possibilities. But I hope you'll also leave with a commitment to integrity as a daily practice, and I'm sure you will. May you ask questions worthy of your education that bears the mark of care, that is ethical care. May you choose integrity, especially when no one is watching. And may you help build a world in which intelligence, human or artificial, is placed in the service of justice and the common good. Congratulations, graduates. The future is before you. Bring to it what only you can. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates from Woodsworth College who are being admitted to the degree Honors Bachelor of Arts. Vivian Vale Hewitt Abbott. Halima Abdi. Huda Ali Abdi. Kate Ann Stevens Agnew. Sanzana Ahmed. Abigail Agatha Akirov. Haya Bashar Al-Nabulsi. Fernanda Alderete Hernandez. Mariam Ali. Amina Ahmad Al-Sumaiti. Ariba Amer. Sky Anakta. Adea Shanicia Anderson. Madeline Hildegard Anderson. Jessica Aslani Aliabadi. Annie Astur. Ahmed Hazem Ramzi Bakr. Amna Akbar Ali Bandukwala. Sherwin Nigel Michael Barnes. Olivia Barone. Julia Elizabeth Baskin. Kushbu Basi. Olivia Silvana Biondich. Soldbeleg Boldchoyeg. Shanara Alicia Boteju. Montserrat Bustamante Arroyo. Kimberly Angeles Calderon Vargas. Sean Nelson Campbell. Lindsay Carroll. Michaela Francesca Castilla Sears. Colin Miguel Castro. Emma Carrero Catarino. Heiyin Chan. Caitlin Kahe Chan. Ranxing Chang. Stanford Chang. Lauren Charles. Trevor Anthony Che. Carolinda Chun Chun. Ian Chun. Yuxuan Chun. Hinqing Chung. Ria Martha Cherian. Fei Nga Tiffany Chung. Quintin Chung Atkinson. Kevin Gyuhyun Cho. Fiona Marie Cohen. Seamus John Cohen. Sarah Grace Colavecchia. Mark Cooper. Molly Cooper Gray. Sarah Megan Costa. Marcel A. Cause. William Aiden Crockford. Mark Bathon Cueto. Maya Katuli. Vali Mohammed Dalal. Zara Doji. Samantha Rachel Ashley Dawson. Aidan Duncan DeMille. Amelia Pantel Dees. Mark Angelo Domingo de la Cruz. Alexandre de la Fosse. Samantha Nicole Delicata. Serena Alice Di Francesco. Philip DiMambro. Samantha Sharon May Dodson. Tracy Dusabimana. Seth Joshua James Edney. Lana El Awad. Caitlin Alusha Elcom. Madalena Milka Sindrich Fagonch. Rachel Chire Fan. Caden Maliki Fair. Emma Feldstein. Sophia Elizabeth Fowler. Jada Fraser DeVolen. Mila Blake Frumovitz. Ziqing Monique Feng. Raul Silva Gawao. Pooja Gandhi. Marlene Katharina Gariho. Isabella Athena Giabanas. Harneet Gill. Paulina Gorn. Michael Stanley Gover. Benjamin Domenico Gro. Junqiu Gu. Ian Goodmanson. Monray Guo. Alexis Julia Gutfreund. Mariam Habib. Josephine Hast. Madison Patricia Hine. Jaina Omar Hilal. Chuk In Ho. Anushka Arisha Hossain. Landon Howell. Yining Hu. Zhijia Hu. Yichuan Huang. Mina Huang. Kalaya Rosalia Lynn Huswick Leva. Grace Elizabeth Westis. Saima Islam. Vivian Marian Ivy. Aiden Jaray Jeffers. Yuehua Ji. Shilin Zhang. Amrita Elsie Jogi. Catherine Yvette Johnson. Ethan Lee Yudkovitz. Candace Ann Rebecca Jutla. Seo Kong. Anushka Kaliambath. Simran Kalsi. Gibran Kapadia. Adeline Kilana. Eden Kendall. Prima Tasneem Khan. Surur Khan. Gorangat Singh Kangura. Sonia Kim. Lola Marie Klassen. Hyun So Ko. Santhya Kuganaswaran. Nyabor Ngo Huol. Courtney Kuroyama. Carl Eric Felix Kvarnstrom. Song Jun Kwon. Jan Danielle Lassiste. Namuna Patricia Lala. Anders Seheen Lam. Alexander Dafar Latif Voxvik. Hei Tong Chloe Law. Alex Jaehyun Lee. Yeji Lee. Sophia Lenkov. Likhang Lester Leung. Edward Xiaogang Lee. Hao Lee. Jisong Lee. Max Vilson Lee. Xizhuo Li. Yao Liang. Kylie Lima Crickmore. Angela Ichun Lin. Joyce Lin. Lawson Lin. Sean Lin. Qianru Liu. Hangzhi Lu. Kaibo Lu. Xinyu Lu. Vanessa Lin Macedo. Valeria McGregor Ordonez. Brialyn Harper Williams McNeil. Athena Junjun Mai. Helia Maleki. Alina Mao. Elias McAllister. Zaina Mahmood. Jinlu Meng. Ziyi Meng. Ian Song Min. Mia Andrea Miranda. Chloe Teresa Morich. Eli Mueller. Malak Naman. Awa Njai. Lee Ang Viet Nguyen. Quinn An Nguyen. Catherine Nicholson. Katharina Clara Nunez Vieira. Mary Josephine Ellen O'Connor. Boluatife Tololope Ogoniyi. Jonathan Olding. Zayed Osmin. Joshua Austin. Esther Owusu Bempa. Aleza Dayuna Palepai. Wonyu Pong. Siyun Park. Oishi Paul. Samantha Selena Payne. Elise Eisner Pialis. Sofia Alexandra Ferreira Pinheiro. Julian Ponce. Kendall Elizabeth Joy Preston. Xinyan Chen. Tashfia Rahman. Safia Ramender Armogan. Nusha Farin Reyaz. Mason Reeves. Annika Grace Rorden. Peter Xavier Rossetti. Dahlia Hope Rubin. Anya Abigail Russell. Cassidy Ryan. Michael Salecki. Jagrat Sandasara. Xiyuan Song. Dana Sagam. Ahmad Abrar Shahid. Dua Shasad. Hongjie Shao. Lian Shen. Yuhong Shen. Dana Ruth Sherrick. Jerry Shi. Aisha Siddiqui. Sunny Betty Singh. Brianna Isabel Callado Silva. Nicholas David Anthony Simpson. Serena Daisy Singh. Ronachai Siriranam. Madeline Page Hofnagels Stanley. Ewan David Stratford. Margad Sukhbatar. Yusuf Mohammed Sultan. Jaxi Sun. Mariana Freiser. Aisha Tariq. Thomas Tunison. David Thomas. Palesa Langa Twala. Elise Tigges. Jazz Sadie Marie Tillock. Margaret Todoroska. Hoi Ching Tong. Yao Tong. Michelle Chidera Uboma. Jessica Upton. Celine Uzun. Julia Nicole Valerio. Martin Manuel Vanilla Campos. Natasha Vujicic. Weiwei Wang. Cindy Wang. Emily Ruonying Wong. Luran Wong. Letitia Hope Wang. William Wang. Alice Wang. Yiran Wong. Craig John Waterman. Zoya Patrika Webster. Salma Phoebe Qureshi Wenekers. Jasper Hyongard White. Madison Raxall. Guangwei Wu. Minge Wu. Zhiyuan Xiao. Dongni Xie. Jiaye Xu. Krasimira Ioana Marianova Yaneva. Chenxi Yang. Shuwen Yang. Astrid Yap. Hao Qi Ye. Ho Chi Yang. He Yin. Cassandra Ip. Brian Y. Yuan. Emily Zhang. Leyi Zhang. Yiwen Zhang. Zhao Zhang. Yiduo Zhou. Jinghe Zhu. Ziwei Zhu. Alan Zhuo. Jingyi Zhou. Eman Zuberi. Candidates from Woodsworth College who are being admitted to the degree Bachelor of Arts. Kimberly Figuera. Kanopreet Kaur Hira. Amaya Isabel Singh. Chuanyi Yuan. Candidate from Woodsworth College who is being admitted to the degree Bachelor of Commerce. Amaya Chandra.
What a loud bunch you are. Now, Suni got a really good standing ovation right there. And Kimberly was next. I think you guys can be a little bit louder than that. I'll give you another shot. Do it again. Come on. Well done. On behalf of the University of Toronto and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby admit all of those candidates not here present to their degrees in absentia. One more time for those folks.
As we conclude Convocation, I wish to thank you all for your participation and your patience and your energy. You really brought that tonight. To the families and friends and to those in the procession, let me say thank you. You have made this a more memorable event for each member of the graduating class. I would like to thank Chancellor West Hall for presiding over today's ceremony. I wish to thank as well the many other colleagues and friends of the university who participated in this convocation. And I now invite the Chancellor to bring today's ceremony to a close.
As I bring this convocation ceremony to a close on this, your special day, I hope we'll see you often in the years to come. And I invite you to stay connected. We will be very interested in your journey. And we know that you'll make an impact for the better in whatever path you choose. Concilium demissum est.